story of a 15-year-old Irishman who survives the famine in his native Sligo to arrive in Glasgow in 1855 and finds himself surrounded by poverty and deprivation in the most anti-Irish city on the planet. From the most humble beginnings, he's inspired by the work of the Marists. He receives his vows in 1869 of poverty, chastity and obedience. Sounds a bit like my marriage vows. He goes on to teach in St Mary's, Calton and Sacred Heart, Brixton. Setting up the poor children's dinner tables in 1884 at Sacred Heart, he increasingly feels the pressure involved in funding the charity, along with the St Vincent de Paul Society. But using his contacts to arrange 4 charity matches in Brixton, he was amazed at the popularity of the game of football amongst the parishioners. And when Hibernian won the Scottish Cup in February 1887 and were feted in St Mary's Hall after the match, the Hibs secretary remarked in a speech challenging the Irish Catholics present in the West to go and do likewise. Brother Walfred didn't need to be asked twice, and 9 months later, in the same parish hall, Celtic were born with the humble aims to form a football club to fund the poor children's dinner tables of the parishes of St Mary's, Sacred Heart and St Michael's, Parkhead. A football club, but much, much more than a football club, was born that day.
Brother Walfred, our founding father, who founded the football club, along with others, John Glass, Willie Maley and others, who didn't only form a football club, they formed it for the best of reasons, which was to play football matches to raise money to feed the poor of the East End. I don't think there could be any better reason to form a football club. But it was not only a football club they formed an institution that 125 years later is as strong today as it's ever been. And that institution gave an identity to a community, our community at the time, who faced deprivation, real hostility. And it gave them an identity, a purpose, a cause, inspiration and aspiration. And that, I think, over the last 125 years has set Celtic apart from any other football club in the world. And a turnout like today demonstrates that.
125 years ago, Sligo-born Brother Walfrid created Celtic Football Club to aid an impoverished and often shunned community. In the past 10 years alone, Celtic Football Club, through the work of its charity and its foundation, have achieved some remarkable results in continuing the vision of Brother Walfrid, be it locally, nationally or internationally. To date, some 2 million people, children and young people, have been helped in the areas of health, education, training and sport. The club, through the charity and foundation, have invested over £10 million to deliver projects and to assist other charities who need our help. Some of you will remember last year the Legends match against Manchester United. The funds raised from that match alone fed and watered and saved 66,000 people in Somalia during the East African famine. That's a staggering statistic, absolutely staggering, something you as supporters, the club, should be proud of for a long time to come. But we are determined to do more in this 125th anniversary.
He's a great man, and the brothers recognise that, and we know that he's thought of like that in Rome, in the Mother House there, in France, in our own place there, in the various places where we have brothers. All we have to do is, we mention Celtic first of all, and then we say, you know, it was founded by Brother Walfrid. And then you can start talking.
Walfrid's spirit ensures that wherever there is need or disadvantage, the Glasgow Celtic will be there. We are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through, sing the adoring crowds at Celtic Park. As we gather here today at our founder's resting place and in this school of such great Celtic associations, let us indeed be faithful through and through to our team, which has brought such success and distinction to those iconic green and white hoops, but also to the undiminished vision and ideals of Brother Walfred. His concept of more than a club, of a team and a support, wearing the garment of inclusion, of tolerance, of honourable behaviour, compassion and charity, ensuring that our grand old team, as it stands on the threshold of its 125th year, may continue to be worthy of and reaffirm Tom Maley's accolade of almost 100 years ago, that the Celtic are the greatest and best of all football and athletic institutions.